Klaus Ben-Ami Hacken, and I was the El Al station manager at the time of the attack. On July 4th, 19 years ago, we were wrapping up our check-in procedure of the El Al flight to Israel. Around us, 4 other foreign airlines in full process of check-in to their own destinations. The Muslim jihadists targeted the Jewish Israeli airline and managed to kill Mr. Yaakov Aminov, Zichrono Livracha, and our beloved Vicky Chen. Hashem Yikom Damam. And if not for Chabad Chaim Sapir, who knows how many more lives would have been taken that day. Vicky Chen, only 25 years old, beautiful and full of life.
Rachel, what does it mean to have the Ben-Ami Hakel family come and join you every year?
Oh, it's like Vicky, she's here.
Klaus, the idea that every one of us, every Jew or every Israeli that lives here in L.A. could have been the victim of this terror attack, because we are all using the El Al flights to Israel, and this was an attack against the Jewish Israeli airline, okay, and the Jewish Israeli people. Yeah.
Is there a resentment upon the part of Europeans that an Israeli airline or Israelis in general are in need of greater protection from Islamist terrorism, Islamist extremism?
Europe has changed so much since I lived there. We have so many people from all over the world coming to European countries, and with them, of course, they bring also their culture, and some of them, like Britain or France, these people also want to bring their religion with it, and want even to go as far as to recognize their laws of Sharia laws and in the court system. Very disturbing indeed.
There's a large Muslim population in all major metropolitan areas of the United States, and they are demonstrating, not just physically demonstrating, but also acting out anti-Semitism. Is there an awareness on the part of the general public that there's in the way that there's a recognition of a bigotry among whites towards blacks?
No, the general public is not only asleep, they are brainwashed. They are in a stupor created by the media. They do not acknowledge, they are not aware of what is going on. The attacks on Jews are unreported. They have no idea that Jews make up between 61 to 67, based on the year, percent of religious hate crimes in America, mostly perpetrated by Muslims or Islamists. Terrorists that have an agenda to not only eradicate Jews from the world, but eradicate all quote-unquote infidels. They hate anybody who does not follow the radical Islamic. It's not a radical. The fundamental principles of Islamism. That's what they want globally. They want a global caliphate, and I think that everybody's completely asleep to it. That doesn't show up to this.
So, what's your name?
Merav.
Merav. So, 19 years ago this occurred, and yet Jews are still getting attacked without the protection of this city, without the protection of even the realization of the media covering this for any reason.
Go back home. This is not our home, unfortunately. It was many years ago, not today.
Not anymore?
Not anymore. No, unfortunately, again. When I came here, Jewish were known all over. Police protect us, city, government. Not today. Not today. Done.
One last question. Your thoughts about the attacks on Jews nowadays in the streets, and the recognition that Jews need protection?
There always has been people who don't like Jewish people because of what is said about Jewish people. So much is wrong of it, and it is for some maybe envy, because these are usually well-educated people throughout history. And
Whites are insurrectionists and the whites are nationalists, but no one's looking at the Muslim attitudes towards Jews and Christians and Hindus, for instance.
Media makes the Muslim suffering in Israel like, I don't know. I just came back from Israel. They live better than anybody else.
Who does?
The Muslims in Israel. They have beautiful houses. They build whatever they want. They don't need permit. They don't need anything because they're Arabs, they're Muslims, but not for us.
You saying they get special treatment?
Yes, of course. And the people
traveling in a city, big city, major city in Israel, we cannot go there. You risk
what do you
your
mean?
life if you go to Hebron, if you go to Shechem.
Oh, yeah. You're saying in the Arab areas you're not safe.
You can't go there. It's too risky.
Even the old city in Jerusalem, you're not safe anymore. I was there. I didn't visit not the Kotel, not the old city, and I grew up in Jerusalem. You can't. I'm not going to put my life on a risk. But it's something that the media cover one side. They don't see the other side of the Judaism, the Jewish, the Israelis, all over. When you cover one side and you hear one side of the story, that's it. It's about time that even in Israel, we have to learn to live together.
What's the connection between Islamists and Marxists that have maybe hijacked the Democratic Party?
Yeah, they have an alliance where they both want to achieve the same goal, which is the destruction of Judeo-Christian principles and American Western beliefs, European cultural ways. They want to destroy all of that. The Marxists hate Americanism, hate the Constitution, and so does Islam. So they are working in concert, supporting each other's groups to create the Islamo-Marxist element. They've been working for years to vote each other into the UN, creating a strong United Nations voting bloc. The communist bloc needed more votes, so they voted in Islamic nations, and they kept voting in more communists. So now you have an Islamo-communist voting bloc in the United Nations dictating to the world what is and what isn't. And that's not what should dictate what is and what isn't. What should dictate what is and what isn't is the principles of Judeo-Christian beliefs, the Ten Commandments, and that we have God's law and the nature's law to guide people in the world, and that's what they want to destroy, and that's why they came here to L.A.X, to El Al, because Israel represents the seed of those principles, and so you can't do away with the world of those principles without doing away with Israel, the seed of all of those righteous principles. And so that's why they came in. They shot at this beautiful young woman, and you have these grieving parents, and it's devastating.